I can actually tell you the date, place and probably the exact time we met. February 17, 1978 at Manly Surf Club in Sydney. I was running my first marathon. I stood at the start line, 7 o'clock, looked beside me and there was the famous Bryce Courtenay. Everyone in advertising knew Bryce, introduced ourselves, realised we were both running our first marathon, and we set off on that 42 kilometre journey together. We started and we finished together in just under 4 hours. It thus began a relationship that's gone on for 34 years. We've travelled together, we've worked together, played together, we've cried together, we've laughed together, and it's been a wonderful time.
Now, Bryce announced in September that he was suffering from cancer and that Jack of Diamonds would be his last book. How comfortable was he with his impending death?
I actually saw Bryce the day before he passed away, and I can truly say he was at peace. Like most things in his life, he planned it. He knew exactly what was going on. Ironically, he said to me, "Mate, I think I'll leave this world at 4 o'clock on Thursday." Now, he actually went at about 10 or 11 o'clock on Thursday evening, but then his son Adam said to me, "Do you realise that's 4 o'clock South African time?" So like a lot of things Bryce did, it came off exactly as he predicted.
How do you think Bryce would like to be remembered?
Look, I know he'd like to be remembered as a storyteller, and a great storyteller, but more importantly, Bryce understood that reading was fundamentally important to society. He wrote a great line, the Dimmock's Literacy Foundation, when he formed it, and the line was, "Open books, open minds." And what Bryce was responsible for doing was taking the books out of bookshops into supermarkets. He didn't care if the shops discounted from $49 to $12 because he wanted these books being sold. And prior to Bryce, no books were sold in supermarkets. Now they're lost leaders. All these books go in and they're there the day they publish, and they sell in every shop around Australia. And that means that kids who didn't read books before now read them. And Bryce really wanted kids and young adults to read his books.
Which book do you think Bryce Courtenay would be most proud of?
I would have to say April Fool's Day. I've read all of Bryce's books in manuscript form. The one book he wouldn't show me was April Fool's Day. He waited till the very end and said, "I want you to read this quietly." And there's a little bit of Bryce in every book he's written, no question of that. But on April Fool's Day opened his heart and his soul, and the story of Damon is probably one of the great books of all time. When you read it and you see what he was going through at the time, I mean, Bryce was very proud of what he'd written about the son he loved so dearly.
And this is the son that he lost to AIDS through a blood transfusion. How did tragedy or the unfortunate circumstances that Bryce Courtenay had to endure shape him as a person and as a writer?
The thing about Bryce is that he could overcome adversity. I mean, he never complained about what he'd been given in life, and he started with nothing, as most people know. He worked very hard, a number of jobs. He lost a son through no fault of anybody's, a tragic accident with the blood transfusions. But Bryce had the ability to get up no matter what happened. You could knock him down 27 times, he'd get up 28. Nothing seemed to stop him, and he had the ability to sort of compartmentalise his life. He could sort of take a problem, compartmental, and then move on to something else. He never let himself be distracted. I mean, during the time of Damon's illness, which was terribly difficult, he worked, he trained hard for marathons, he wrote books, and he cared for Damon. I mean, any one of those four things is difficult for a person. Bryce coped with all of them easily.
Bryce has said before that he doesn't expect or want longevity for his books, and that they will one day wash away like footprints in the sand. Do you think he's right?
No, I don't. I mean, great authors' books live beyond the life of the author, and there's no question that Bryce has entertained so many millions of people with his writing. I think it'll live forever.